Hi, my name's Paula from Chic Emporium, and I'm going to show you today how to make one of these lovely boho knotted bottles that I've been making and creating to use in my lounge for my new boho makeover. So that's a finished one. So what you need for this project is obviously a bottle, and you need to remove the labels as best you can and the little tab bit at the top. You then need some coloured wool. You could use twine or the Hessian stuff, but it needs to be fairly sort of flexible and bendy. I bought this ball which is like I call it a hippie ball. It changes colours as it goes along, so I've been able to produce 3 or 4 items using a different colour for each one, and they work quite well together. So that's the wool that I've got. So the first thing you need to do is cut a length. If you can see my bottle here, here's the neck. So you need to cut a length that is just a bit longer so that we can tie it up here, but we need to leave a little bit of excess at first. So you need one length like that. You need to create a smaller circle that needs to be smaller than the circle at the bottom. Okay, that's how we're going to finish it off at the bottom. And then you need to cut 10 lengths. So if you roughly work out from the neck some excess below it and then double it, and that's what you need, is 10 of those lengths. Okay, and obviously you need some scissors, and I have also got one of these lovely cork bottle lights which I'm going to show you, put into the top to show it all lit up, which is lovely, but obviously that's an optional extra because they look lovely on their own. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is lay my straight piece of wool that's to go around the neck of the bottle out, and the long pieces that we've cut I've folded in half. The loop end I'm going to place randomly underneath the straight line, and then I'm going to loop it over and pull the wool through so that it makes a knot. Now this kind of knot is movable up and down the line, so that's what we want, and that's why we're tying it on that way. So I'm going to carry on with each piece. We need 10. You need to make sure that you have an even number. It won't work if you don't have an even number. So the loop underneath, and then pull it over the top and grab the wool through like that. Keep going back to your straight line to lay it out. It helps for you to see it, and then we pull the tight. So now we've got 2 attached, and they can be moved along as and when we're ready to tie it around the neck of our bottle. So I'm just going to carry on attaching all of my 10 strips. Okay, so I've got all of my 10 on my string, and I've bunched them up a bit so that I've got lots of excess, and I'm going to tie it just a double knot round the neck of my bottle. Try and keep it fairly tight like that. And then I'm going to just snip off the trim so it doesn't get in the way. And now I'm going to slide all of my strings around the neck so that there's a fairly even gap between each one. And the knot that we created when we put them on allows you to do that really easily. So just distribute them. Doesn't have to be perfect or measured or anything, just by eye, a rough gap of equal measure between. There we go. So now my bottle has a lovely skirt going on. So what we need to do, try and get round to the side to show you a bit easier, is if we take two that are next to each other and disregard all the rest, don't worry about them. Okay, so we're going to take the two strings that are closest together, one from each double strand, and again disregard the others. So we're only dealing with two, one from each strand. Now create yourself a triangle. Can you see that triangle there? And use your thumb and finger to pinch that triangle exactly how you want it. So you could do a big triangle if you wanted, but I'm going to do a fairly small triangle. I'm going to pinch it, and then with the wool that's left, I'm going to take both lengths over and through the hole, still holding on with the pinch. Don't let go of the pinch, that's the trick. Slowly pull the knot tight so that the knot falls exactly where your pinch is, and only then do you let go. So now I've got a perfect triangle with my first knot done. Now I'm going to go on and use the piece that's next to it. So there's my triangle, there's the piece next to it, and then I'm going to use the very next piece, and again disregard all the rest. Doesn't matter that it bags up because it will fall tight when we get to the bottom. Okay, so now I've got my two, and again I'm going to create a triangle of about equal size to the one next to it. I'm going to pinch it, wrap over, do a knot like that, and then gradually pull that knot tight until the knot falls under my pinch. Perfect. So now you can see I've got two triangles. So I'm going to go round, this is like the first row, all the way around the bottle in exactly the same way as you've just seen, till I've completed the first row. Okay, so we've now completed the first row all the way round, and this is why you needed an even number of strings. So I'm on to my second row, which is done in exactly the same way. You take one from each side of the knot, can you see that? And I'm going to now pull that down. It's only important to be keeping this tight on the one that you're working on. So I'm now forming a diamond, and I'm making sure that my pinch is forming an sort of even diamond and keeping my fingers exactly on that spot. Again, doing the knot in exactly the same way, making sure that the knot falls where my pinch was. So there's my first diamond, and I'm going to go round and complete the second row in exactly the same way, creating diamonds all the way around. Okay, so the second row is complete. You can see there's diamonds all the way around, and I'm now going to just continue working my way down the bottle, creating more and more diamonds until the diamonds get down to the bottom and the last knot is around the bottom or just underneath. So I'll keep working in exactly the same way and then show you when we get down to the bottom how we're going to finish that off. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so you can see that's taken a little while. It's worth being patient and getting your diamonds fairly even. You could obviously make them much bigger and so have to do less, but I quite like the look. So this is the reason for making sure that you had enough lengths, because by doing all those knots you've actually got rid of a lot of the excess. I haven't cut anything off of those enormous lengths that I cut, so make sure you've got enough, because it's reasonable enough work to get through it only to realise you haven't got enough to get round the bottom. So now I'm going to show you just how we finish off and get this all sort of neat and tidied up at the bottom, and then pulled tight so that the diamonds show properly. So if you remember at the beginning, I created a little circle with the wool. It's just got a little knot on the end that's smaller than the bottom of the bottle. Now that's going to sit in the bottom, and it's simply going to be a question of tying off each individual strand around that circle. So I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so I've got my first strand and my circle, and I'm going to literally hold the circle in place where I want the knot to be, just underneath, and then I'm going to wrap it round and tie it, pinching again with my thumb where I want the knot to be. So that's my first bit. Don't worry about this excess bit, we'll tidy that afterwards. Now I'm going to turn the bottle upside down to take one of the strands the other side, because it's going to start helping me balance that circle out. So again, just pull it through the loop to where I want that circle to be, pinching it and tying it off. And I'm going to do a bit of a north, south, east, west affair, just to try and get that circle into some kind of balanced position. So at the moment the circle's sort of swimming around, so I'm having to sort of pull it to balance where I think it will be in the end. Again, pinch it and tie it off. Now in reality this bit's not going to be seen, so if you end up having to tie it off in a different way because you haven't got enough ends left, you know, not long enough, then, you know, do it how you feel, because as I say, you're not actually going to see it. So now I'll go to my west. And then you can see now the circle's sort of become a bit of a square, but that's fine, that's sort of got it into place. Sort of a bit fiddly, but the trick is just pinching where you want the knot to be. That's the crucial. All the rest will work, as long as you don't let go until the knot is ready to be pulled. So now I've got a square, so now I need to just work around all of the other ends that I've got in the same way till they're in place. Okay, so I've tied them all off, and now it's just a question of snipping the ends off. You don't have to do it too close, I mean, you don't want the knots to come undone, and as I said, they are just going to be sat on it, so you're not going to see them. So it's just there we are. It's all fairly, just that bit in the middle. I'm having fun with my scissors. There we go, so that's the basic bottle, and then obviously you've got the neck to finish off, and I literally just go back to the same wool and tie it around the neck. Fairly tight, and then just start wrapping the wool, making sure that I tuck in this end that I've created from tying so it doesn't stick out. And depending on the neck, these are easy to sometimes sort of do completely neatly without it all sliding down, and some are more tricky. You can get around that by using a hot glue gun to strategically sort of glue in place at certain places, or you can just go with a more messy natural look and not worry about it looking perfect. Either way works fine. You could put a bit of fabric around the top, you could finish it how you want. Like the sort of showing off the colour. These look really nice done in the kind of Hessian stuff as well I've seen, but my lounge is very colourful, hence see as you can see at the top I've given up on neat and tidy because of the shape of the bottle. It's just sliding, but it really doesn't matter as long as I can't see the glass. I never go right to the top, I think that looks a bit funny myself. But yeah, I've got quite good coverage there. I'll do a couple around there to join the gap. Okay, just check. Twist it around to make sure that all sides are looking okay covered, and I'm going to cut it off and attempt to tie it off. Again, you could use hot glue to keep it in place. I'm just being lazy about heating it up and so on. And really once it's done, it's not going to be fiddled with, so but I'm happy with that. So my last thing to show you is this lovely little light, if I can get it open. My friend actually sells these on her website, so I shall put a link in the comments if you wish to purchase one. I don't think you'll find them cheaper than what she does them for. She also does a beautiful array of other bottle lights that are stunning, definitely worth a look. So I'm just sort of loosening the wire a bit. These are LEDs, so the battery life is pretty good, but she also sells batteries if you need them. So it's a little bit tangled, but I'm going to start pushing it into my bottle, which is a bit fiddly. Then it goes in the top like a cork and lights up, and you probably can't appreciate that completely in daylight, but see if I can get a good picture in the dark to show you. I think that's a really beautiful, lovely finish. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a go. I've now got a little bit of a collection going on, and I've done the same with some jars as well. So until the next time, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my crafts and painting and all the rest of it. And the links are in the comments to my website and to my Facebook page if you wish to follow me there too. Thank you very much. Bye bye.